Welcome to June, to the first week of June. I will give you a few updates on what to expect for this week. First of all, on the very first day of June, Mercury, sign of the planet of communication and mind, moves into the sign of Cancer, of water, of emotion. So now we get to experience this wonderful connection between how we think and how we feel, which for the first days of June will be very good for communication with loved ones, writing, poetry, music, expressing your deepest desires, maybe even reaching points within yourself of truth connected to your emotions that you were not able to connect with earlier. I would also suggest for you to really be open to the vastness of who you are when it comes to your emotional well-being. Because if there's something we are not being taught much about is what are emotions? Why do we experience emotions as humans in this lifetime? And how to navigate, how to use them as fuel in our communication, in the way that we relate, in the way that we nourish, in the way that we make the world more beautiful. Feeling this new current of Mercury being in Cancer is quite invigorating to our imagination and our self-expression. But I want you to pay attention to the time around June the 4th, where Mercury will make a square to Neptune in Aries. So whenever we have fire element meeting water, there's a risk of damp. And when we have the planet of Neptune in Aries coming in with the fire, and we have the planet of Mercury coming in with the water, what is at risk at this moment? Well, there could be a steam of unhealthy emotional outbursts. There could be a steam that sort of temporarily makes you believe in illusions. Because Neptune has a light side and a not so light side. So Neptune can lead us into illusions and addictions and confusion. But Neptune can also be the translator into our unconscious mind, into our deepest creative expressions that then can become alive in this physical world. So how do we navigate a square? Well, even though square aspects in astrology is being seen as difficult, what I would like to convert them into in your thinking is that it is aspects that needs to be integrated. So for instance, let's say we have this square Mercury with Neptune. There is a part of us that needs to be integrated, that can come up to the surface around those days in June, around the 3rd, 4th and 5th, I would say. So pay attention to any tension, any illusions, any tendencies of dampness in your system, of overheated emotions, of overheated conversations, of ways in which you are still defending thoughts and belief systems that might just be an illusion, where you have become too rigid in your emotional attachment to those belief systems, so that when the harshness of this world's reality come in, you will defend it with everything you are. And for what cause? You will just be the bonfire taken out by water, and then you will be nothing but damp. So that is sort of the metaphor to think about. So the first week of June is easing us into a connection and an ability with our inner world to be expressed in the outer world. For our true emotions to be communicated out to loved ones, be communicated out to creative projects, or the way that we carry ourselves. And at the same time, we can expect some sort of heated conversations or illusions within ourselves being taken out with Neptune and Aries meeting Mercury in a square. So those are the things I would like to prepare you for in this week ahead. And one of the best ways to work with this integration is to observe yourself throughout this week. Ask yourself, where have I become better at communicating my true emotions? And where am I holding on to belief systems based on my emotions that are actually just an illusion, whether it's how I define myself or how I go out and engage with the world. Those will be the things where you can sort of learn how to float a little bit more easy with the structure of the astrology in the moment, and that's also why I love astrology so much. It is the teaching of how to align with the natural currents of life, the natural currents of your soul, and that's how it's so useful to learn to understand this symbolic language as well. So hope that you will enjoy the energies of this first week of June, and I'll check in with you next week again. See you soon.